find every bit of all types of treasure and all types of gold and silver and precious. God made him with all of that and more. So much so that he became lifted up. He became full of pride. What I came to understand is that what God did when God created the enemy, he was not an enemy then, but all the treasures. And I want you to take time and go back and read it for yourself. And you'll see why the world system is the way it is. God did not take it from him. God only dethroned him because he wanted to usurp the authority of God and to go above God. And so what you have in the world today, people are literally selling themselves and giving their souls to the devil in order to get rich. The Bible talks about the merchants. He talks about the princes. And that speaks to you about the leaders and the world leaders. Every one of them today in some form or fashion is alluded to the fact that what they get their wealth and their riches from. And while some of them innocent, they may not even know or consider the fact that where their finance is coming from is from the very source of all of these that the enemy has put in place. And so much so now that there is nothing that cannot take place without the headquarters and where they are highlight or give way for the people of the world to be able to operate. Some years ago, one great man of God wrote a book with the title, The Day the Dollar Dies. And when he speaks of it, and talks about the American dollar, and he talks about the day it loses its value, it will be in such a chaos of life, because the time will be setting up for the one world government where, once again, the enemy will have its full say. And I want to give to you a few little hints here. The way that the operations of the enemy of such. Remember when they wanted to have a West Indian Federation? Those of you who can remember when they want to bring all the islands together. At that point in time, Jamaica had its bauxite, Guyana had its rice, Trinidad had its oil, and Barbados, of course, because they are so closely linked to Britain, they didn't feel that they need these smaller islands. They said that there would be a weight upon them. One man, a Calypsonian, made a song many years ago, the young boy coming up. I remember, and some of the lyrics still remain with me. When he talks about the federation, when they said we don't want any federation, what happened? Most of the leaders then, the big ones, did not want to link with these smaller islands. Jamaica found itself again dependent upon their bauxite. And when there was a link, we try to get some things going. I think I don't quite remember his name, but at the time when Trinidad oil was really flourishing, he said to those men, or to the one in Guyana, we don't need your rice. We have oil, and oil can't spoil. And those others, because you see what happens, what the enemy would have already done was grab a hold of man's heart to make sure all the economy comes into one area where he can control the economic stem of the world. But during all of this, people didn't realize it was going to come to a crash one day. Now today we are talking about having the people of the region to come under one government, so to speak, that we can have free movement across the Caribbean. Whereas we were not of any note. You will find in these smaller islands, people of every origin has come, even from as far as China and everywhere, the Arab world. They are here today, and nobody knows why they're here. Why is it that all of a sudden these little places have become so important? Because back in the Middle East is the man who had the oil, is the man who controls the oil-rich countries. Those were the great ones, because everybody must look to them, not understanding that the enemy was setting up his plans. And here the systems of the world has been tied into all of this, because what happens is the devil who has set up the system, because God created in him every bit of richness and riches. And so, beloved, it does gives us right that when we get money in our hand, we should bless it and pray over it, because you don't know where it's coming from. We have no idea from what source it's originated. And I will say this, sometimes we take a lot of things for granted, but here we are. Time is coming, and as far as I understand, when I begin to read and look back and see what has taken place, according to what history has shown us, in a time where we are, the world is setting up in such a way that every bit of merchandise, every commercial business, every person that has anything to do with money has to find its system that's linked to the one world government. Who is the Antichrist? And while he may not be, as some of us think that he may not be alive, he could very well be. And we can't be dogmatic to say he's not or he is. There's a point in time that he could very well be alive, or well, he could very well not yet arrive on the scene, but a spirit of him is already operating. The Illuminatis, the Lawrence Company, the Freemasons, the Odd Fellows Lodge, and all the stuff. I remember one gentleman said to me before he died, he said, I can jump on a plane and go anywhere, and I don't have to ask nobody, I don't have to tell nobody I'm coming. All I have to do is show up on the airport and somebody's going to meet me there. I don't have to know who they are, because of what I am into. He said they're going to reach, by the time I hit the airport, they're going to know I'm there. They're going to show up, they're going to take care of me and everything I want. Because the systems have been operated by that which the enemy has already instituted. And without getting into a lot of information, because I don't have time to give you all the details, what I'm showing to you today is that when you look at when I read in chapter 18 of Revelation, the Bible said that the cry of the Holy Spirit by the angel saying, Babylon, you are fallen. Your system is crushed. At this point of speaking this word, remember that there are two phases of this Babylon. One was the physical, because of the city and the oppression of God's people. That Babylon was destroyed and was never rebuilt. But the system and the spirit continues. And so today, while you don't have a physical Babylon, you have a spiritual one, who rules the commercial enterprises and workings of the world today, where everything falls back under his heading. That is why men and women today will do anything to get rich, promise great future, promise great stuff. And so what happens is that people don't seem to realize that every time you fall under the system, you place yourself in a trap. That is why many of great stars, many of great people who have lead the world in their music, some of them had to die some tragic ways, because when they discover what they're into and they wanted to get out, it was not possible. And before the enemy could let them come out, he makes sure they're dead. You see, the devil doesn't play for joy. He plays for keeps, and that is your soul. The Bible said here that all of these riches, talking about the merchants who became rich to the abundance of their delicacies. How did they get rich? I always remember my grandmother saying to me, never grudge anyone with whatever you see them have. You don't know how they come by it. People parade our lands. They are in our islands. Some of them lead our nations. And they get rich and you don't even know how they get quickly. Because there's a system that must be operated accordingly. In my village, I remember one person who was known by so many. And it is said that her children, his children, will always have money, because there was a particular place in his home that he had this particular thing, that every time you go there you find money. And they were always stealing from him, but he never feels it, he never expresses anything, never tell anybody anything, because the money was always being replaced by more. And learning as a young boy coming up, some things were done in a particular place, just between Cotton Gun and Barnesville. There was an offering for this type of riches. And I would like to tell you, beloved, we've got to be careful what and who we get money from today. You never know what they're doing to get it, how they're coming by it. Do not be overtaken by people who have lots and lots to offer, because you never know what they did to get it and how they're coming by it. All these people putting in place their businesses and they're doing their commercial enterprises and stuff. People, I want you to know that they're not just doing it because they're just going into business. There is something happening that you and I do not know. Why is it? And excuse me for saying this, and I was told not to say that, but sometimes people got to understand that while there are things that have been given to us for us to have and to be able to live a more helpful life, if you watch the system, if you understand the structure, you will see that it is still set up that only the rich and the powerful can lay claim to such things. And that those of you who really need it have to struggle to get it. When I asked one gentleman why, you know what he said to me, and I didn't ask him when everybody could hear. I went to him myself and I asked him why. He said, there's nothing I can do about it. It's from where the system operates. It's from where they come from. And we just have to, he said, I would like to do that. I would like to bring the price down. I would like to do this to help the poorer people. But I can't do anything about it. It's from where it's operating. And when the Lord began to speak to me about this, I've got to understand, beloved, while some things may be good and God wants us to be healthy and strong people, yet we got to understand that system is so built up upon man getting this rich and getting this big. It is going back to the one place of the Babylon system. And many of God's people are caught